When I first got into real estate, I thought success was all about knowing the contracts, memorizing the scripts, and grinding harder than anyone else. Boy, was I wrong. What really changed my business, and I'll say my life, were three mindset shifts that I'm going to share with you today that I wish I had made from day one. Thank you for joining us today on the Agent Power Huddle. I'm your host, Dill Ward. I'm an icon agent and team leader with eXp Realty located in Portland, Oregon. With almost 20 years in the industry, I still strongly believe that business should be more than just transactions. It should be a path to personal growth, meaningful success, and more joy in every single day. Now, what's really been on my mind lately is I took on this very big task of having to get rid of all of my paperwork files. Now, for all you youngins and newbies that get to do everything digital, back in the day, we had to print and print and print and print, and every deal file was like yay big, right? So, in our state, or maybe everywhere, we're supposed to save the paperwork 7 years. These paperworks are over 15 years old, and my husband and I have moved them literally 7 times from house to office to house to office. And I was like, that's it. We don't need these anymore. They're so old. We can finally get rid of them. So I took it upon myself to, make an appointment at a bulk shredder and loaded up all these deal files in the back of the car, and drove it down to the place. And when we got there, they handed us a bin and they said, okay, just throw everything in. Well, we had them all in tubs and folders, but they said you can't put any binder clips on them. And they were all like, I was clip crazy. So everything had binder clips. I'm like, oh my God. So I literally had to open the deal files and go through and pull the binder clips off so I can toss them into the shred. But while I was doing that, I was looking at the files and I was looking at the names and I was looking at the properties. And I couldn't believe how different my mind was from the person I was when I was the realtor on those transactions so long ago. And it really just hit me. I was like, man, I have had so many mindset shifts that I feel would be super valuable for everyone, even myself. Just to, that's why I love being the host of this episode, is I get a chance to collect my thoughts and really be intentional about my own business and give myself direction. But I hope sharing them with you today will give you some inspiration as well. So, from looking at deal files of over 15 years ago, I can tell you number one mindset shift is going from being transactional to relational. And I could see in my early files how the people whose names are on I'm like, yeah, did I ever even stay in touch? Like, did I ever get to know them? Do I know anything about them? Like, no, no, it was just like a Zillow call, meet at a house, show the house, write the offer, grind it out, and, do the thing. And honestly, it made me kind of sad. It kind of made me sad that that's like what my business was when I know what my business is today, which is a thriving community of people that I just love, and we are in mutual respect of each other. And that I get to be a true professional. But it didn't happen by accident. I didn't just wake up one day and be like, yes, I'm going to be this person. It happened with great intention and a lot of focus on how I was thinking. And that's my real point here of this one, is going from transactional to relational. But how do you do that, right? It's every little touch, from doing the thing that's on your checklist of, oh, I got to give a client a closing gift. Okay, well, you could throw a cheap generic basket at them and be like, here, you've closed, here's a basket, like, or you can invite them to continued connection. And what I mean by that is having a client appreciation program. I call it the CAP program in my business. And I'm always coming up with new ways to enroll people into CAP. And so when they're closing and I'm giving them their closing gift and I'm sharing that special time with them, um, taking pictures, walking around the house, looking through all the leftover things that are in the house and laughing about it, or problem solving. A lot of times on closing day, you're still solving problems, trash that the seller left behind, uh, uh, utility bills that didn't get transferred, or all the things you're there problem solving. But I like to see this time to say, hey, I have enrolled you into my client appreciation program, and you're going to be getting invited to all kinds of events. You're going to be getting some freebies and things. And they get really excited, like, wow, that's cool. Now, if I never did any of that, then we wouldn't stay in touch, right? How would we, it would be so awkward to just call them out of anywhere. Hey, have you been? I haven't talked to you for 2 years. How's your house? No, this is the time to seed the moment from the transaction to the long-term relationship that you're setting them up for. And here's another little pro tip. I've started doing this recently, and it's like it just totally works. At the end of the day, I go, you know what? If there was a client review site, you would be a 5-star client. I hope if you feel like if I was a 5-star agent, you would say so as well. And they always go, oh yeah, of course, Dill. 5-star agent, but you're seeding that idea. You're not just like hoping it happens by accident. You're actually inviting them to actually take that action. Okay, so what else? Thinking about the lifetime value of the client. Maybe they are buying literally the cheapest house in your entire marketplace. Now, this is where my career started. I like to say I was a bottom feeder, selling short sales, foreclosures, anything that was the cheapest house on the entire market was my market. And at the time, I didn't see that one person buying, a $70,000 home was ever going to equate to very much in the long-term scheme of it all, right? But that was such a fallacy. That was so wrong because people's lives change all the time. I can't believe how often people suddenly come into money. Their parents die, something happens, they get married, things just change in their life, and they're not staying in that house. They're going to buy something different, something better. But if you just kind of treat them like it was one and done, they're not going to think of you. They're not going to come back to you. And at this point in my life, I'm so grateful to say, I mean, I have clients I've sold my houses 3, 4 times. They're on their second marriage, it's amazing when you see the lifetime value of a person. And that's why it's important. I mean, this could be a whole nother episode, but it's important to attract the people that you really like. Because if you really like them, then you're gonna want to stay in touch with them. You're gonna be in flow with them. You're gonna want to go do things that they like to do, and vice versa, versus someone stranger from the internet who you have nothing in common with, and you almost hope you never see again, right? That was definitely a big part of my early career. So I'm trying to set you guys up for success to think long term in this way. And also, going from being a problem solver in the sale to a trusted advisor for life, meaning you're seeding the idea that you want to help them solve problems forever. I like to joke when I'm, touring. I'm like, look, this water heater's old. It's probably going to die within 4 years. Good thing I'll still be here with your file on hand and can just help you look it up and call a plumber. I like to seed that I'm in their life forever. I like to say, hey, I come with the house. When you close, you get me. I come with you forever. I mean, I don't move in. I don't pay any rent, but I do. I'm just a phone call away to help you and to be of support. So that's just all the things around relationships, long-term relationships, setting it up for success, moving from just this is one transaction, and really being a caring person. I mean, I think all of us are. I mean, why would we be in real estate if we didn't care about helping people? But I don't think anyone gives you permission to know that this job actually allows you to just be a really great bestie. And maybe you're a terrible friend in life, but being a friend in business and getting paid, you can show up to it more fully and learn how to be a better person and a better caring friend to other people. And that's what has really taught me and has led me a ton of success. So I'm going to suggest that you think about how you can do this for yourself. Mindset shift number 2, from busy to intentional. From busy to intentional. Man, everybody's busy. You talk to anybody, they're busy. But do they have anything to show for it? I mean, that's the real question. At the end of the day, only if the activities you did were productive. But for most realtors, I can look at their pipeline and say, look, there's nothing at the top of your pipeline, nothing's coming to the bottom of your pipeline. So I don't know what you were doing being so busy if there was no goal orientated activities that led people to your pipeline, that helped you identify prospects, right? And I think when I first got in the business, and I know even still today, some of the bigger teams, like a lot of what they're coaching and saying to do is just get on the phone and prospect, prospects, prospects. And to me, that sounds horrible. I was like, I don't know if I could do that. That was never me. I was not a cold caller. Um, I am a cold outreach to warm connections. Now that's a completely different paradigm, right? In my mind, cold call lead or cold prospecting is like you're just kind of dialing just based on a potential, need that was identified by a software or some other means, right? But cold communication to warm connections is way more fun. And I look at that as like what all social media is. All social media is a platform in which you are having leveraged conversation and you can engage and have a one-on-one conversation with anyone at any time. I mean, that's so wild and so crazy that you could go into a Facebook group right now in your community and just friend 25 new people and then slowly just get into conversations with those 25 people. Now, are you talking about real estate? No, not yet, but everything leads to real estate. I mean, everything leads to real estate. So my advice is like, can you add more people to your life? Can you add more people to your social media? Can you get their phone number? Can you find an excuse or a reason to invite them to anything? So I'm a huge inviter. I feel like inviting is the secret weapon to people who don't want to just cold call random strangers and see what's up. No, you can ask anyone to come to a class or a training or a party or an event or a picnic or anything. People love to be invited. It actually feels really good too. And then when they show up, you're so surprised. You're like, oh my God, you showed up. And it's like your relationship takes the next dimension. But I think we're all too afraid to do that. I think we should all invite more and make more joy in the world. People would be more happy. But back to busy to intentional. Now, I remember when I started in the business, I was in a cubicle. And I remember I would sit in my cubicle and I'd be shuffling papers, I'd print something out, I'd read news articles, I'd do a thing. I mean, couldn't tell you what I did in that day. I don't even know how I stayed in the business. I don't know how I made any money because I wasn't doing anything except like, and then you'd wander from the cubicle over to the printer and you'd chat with someone about something and then you'd wander back. And I remember the first time I ever asked the principal broker in my office, I just said, hey, what am I supposed to be doing all day? And he was like, connecting with people. He was like totally nondescript, gave me really nothing. He was connecting with people. I'm like, okay. And then it really occurred to me, well, sitting in a cubicle isn't doing it. I need to get out in the world. I need to go out and see houses and be with people and do anything to connect with people. Because back then, it wasn't as prolific on the internet. Now you can just sit in your pajamas on your couch and talk to 100 people. I mean, it's so easy now, guys. It's ridiculously easy to reach out, sort, sift people, the human beings that you like, that you want to be in community with and be in relationship with. So another part of this I want to cover too is saying yes to everything. That's another challenge, especially for newer agents. They don't know how to prioritize their time. They just say yes to everything. Yes, 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 yes. But I promise you, if you have a sales coach or a manager or somebody helping you, they should just be asking you, how many people did you talk about real estate with this week? And how many needs did you identify? And if you don't have any new prospects from this week, you really didn't do anything. Everything else was getting ready to get ready, to get ready, to get ready to sell someone some real estate, right? And I think we just get really confused about how to use our time, especially chasing things that are not really ideal clients or just tire kicker type people who've kind of showed up in your life. Oh, you're in real estate, right? And they just want to run you around. And at first you're like, yeah, I want the experience, so it's good. But at some point it comes to a point where you're like, okay, this is abuse and you need to cut it loose. And I think we could all be easily roped into those starry-eyed ideas like, no, this person might actually buy something someday. But if they're just kind of a jerk face and not treating you with a lot of respect and bringing your energy down, they're taking more from you than they're giving to you. And it's up to you to manage that. It's up to you to decide that's a time waster. And got to move on. Because hey, if you need to give yourself a pep talk, go in the MLS. Look how many sales have happened in the last 30 days in your marketplace. And remember, last 30 days, how many sales have happened? There's two sides. There's the buyer side and the seller side. That's how many transactions were just floating past you that you didn't have any part of because you weren't in community or relations with people. So that's how every time I'm getting a little funk, I know it's hard to believe I get in a funk. Every time I get in a funk, I go, nobody's buying anything. Oh, it's just, my buyers are on the sideline. Sellers are just not motivated, blah, blah, blah. And then I just go, look, there were sales happening. It just wasn't in my pipeline because I wasn't out there working it. So I got to get my head back in the game. And that helps me every single time. I'm like, oh yeah, duh, transactions are happening. It's just me. I'm the problem. So own it. You got to own it if you're getting in a funk. Own it so you can bring yourself back to good, get back in the game. Mindset shift number 3, from fear of rejection to fear of regret. What I mean by this is you got to move from being fearful of taking action because somebody, I don't know, God forbid, might judge you for working. They might judge you for trying, right? To your own internal fear of regretting not doing it. And you know what really usually hits for me anyway? When I see someone else doing it, when I'm like, well, they're doing it. Why didn't I do it? Right. And that always motivates me. If I see like, well, dang, they're not afraid. And what I mean by that is, there's so many ways that we could get in our own head about rejection. And it's perceived rejection. A lot of times it literally has nothing to do with you. Sometimes rejection is a little bit selfish. It's so self-centered. You're like, oh, they're going to think this about me. No, they're not. They're not thinking anything about you. They're not thinking about you. They're thinking about themselves, their own lives, their own direction. You're just kind of a sideline to it, right? Um, so I've got, let me see what I write down here. Took some good notes. Let's see. Um, Making the prospecting call, right? So fear of rejection is like, what if they hang up on me, or they think I'm pushy, or they think I'm salesy? That's the mind monster of rejection. Fear of regret is like, what if they buy with someone else because they tried harder than me? Especially if it's like a friend or family. I mean, that'll stab you in the heart quick, right? It's like, I mean, you can recover from an awkward call, but you can never go back and pursue the person that you didn't pursue that then buys or sells with someone else, right? So that's usually the moment the sign goes up in the yard and it's not yours. That's fear of regret. So that's better. It's better to, or sorry, that's fear of rejection. Like knowing that you didn't go for it when you knew you were up for it, but you didn't try, right? And you could even say following up with someone. Fear of rejection is like, oh, I don't want to bother them. They said they'd get back to me, blah, blah, blah. Fear of regret is like, what if they were just busy and they didn't get back to me? Like they had their own life going on, and that they need someone like me to drive it forward to keep their own dreams alive. I truly believe a lot of the folks that I help, um, I'm not pushing them into it, but I'm holding them accountable to what they said they want to do. Hey, you said you want to buy by the end of the year. We got to get looking. We got to get you pre-approved. We got to do this. And I think they really appreciate it. They appreciate someone walking the walk with them so they don't slack out on themselves. This process is an effort. Every time you've probably looked for a home, you realize, whoo, this is an effort to go look for a home or to try to get your house ready to get on the market to get it sold. Either one. You need a t-shirt saying, I survived buying or selling a house. It's a lot of work. And when you have someone show up in your life who's just bringing energy and possibility and to do and da 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 and can get things done, um, that's the person you're going to hire. That's the person you're like, I just can't get rid of this person. They're always here and they're happy. Might as well just hire them. So I like to say that's been a lot of my success, is just constantly showing up and bringing energy, bringing joy, bringing possibility when the tasks list ahead looks long and daunting. Um, especially someone trying to sell their house. If they have lived in their house even more than 3 years, they have more stuff than they know what to do with. And 15 projects plus that are unfinished. They're at 90%. You ever notice how everyone paints like 90%? They don't finish the trim. They do the flooring themselves, but they never do around the door jambs or the it's just like you come to a house and there's so many things that need to get done. But for that person living there, it's been bugging them every day for 5 years or whatever. But you can bring joy and energy and really, help land the deal, be the person. Um, okay. So another piece of this too is taking a bold opinion on social media. I feel like a lot of people are just playing too small. They're playing too shy. They're like trying to be so neutral. I've noticed every time I just pick a lane and get bold and say a thing, it just magnetizes people to you. They're just like, they either, or repels them, or they're not a right fit. They hate you. They don't ever want to talk to you. And that's okay. That's totally okay. We don't need all the people. And when you really think about how many people do you actually need to have a successful business where you're making a plentiful income and you're happy and you're sustainable, it's not that many human beings, guys. I remember taking the ninja training back like 15 years ago with Larry somebody. Ninja training is awesome. Anyways, I remember he was like, You need maybe 200 people in your database that you know everything about, that you're always connecting with, you're always in flow with, top of mind, top of choice kind of thing. 200 is literally nothing. Now, if I went on any one of your Facebook pages right now, you probably have more than 200 friends. Like, you probably just do. I mean, they're probably all kinds of random people that you don't really know, but that's an opportunity. That's an opportunity to go to the social media place. I call it the friend market. Just go to the friend market and pick up a friend. See if you can get a phone number. See if you can invite someone to anything. Like, pull someone out of the social media stratosphere and get into a relationship with them. And, and just one by one by one by one by one until you have your chosen ones. I like to call, I have a whole training on this just around picking your favoriteest people and voting the other ones off the island and just literally staying in touch with them all day, every day. I mean, how cool is that? We are literally highly paid friends. Like, I just think that's so cool. When you really get this business flowing the way you want, that you can have handpicked all the human beings that you want to be in flow with, and then you could just be a darn good friend, solving problems and making a bold statement on social media about where you stand on any issue in the world, and attracting right people that will then fill your pipeline forever and ever and ever and ever. I mean, how great is that? And then as you grow, and you become a team leader and you want to start a team, you could attract awesome other agents who want to see the world the way you do. And I just think, what a what an amazing job. I mean, just being a realtor is an amazing job. We get to help people, we get to lead people, and we get to challenge ourselves to grow. I mean, today I'm only talking about 3 mindsets, but man, you need to change your mindset almost every day. I like to tell my agents, you got to shower every day so you don't smell bad. If you ran and did anything athletic in the day, you sweaty and you smell bad, you need to shower to have a fresh body. But what are you doing to have a fresh mind every day, to start fresh, to clear the junk, to clear the cache of the RAM of the brain, of all the things that you are still thinking about from yesterday and the day before, to start fresh, to be present and to be intentional and to go use the time that you have to help people, to identify needs, to find people who want to buy and sell houses so that you can put them in your pipeline for the 3, 6, 9 months ahead. Right now, you should be really thinking about, we're in August as of this recording, and that's middle of summer. A lot of people are just goofing around. I'm goofing around. I'm on vacation right now recording this, but I love recording this. It's fun. I get to show up to it and be intentional and take some time journaling and thinking about my own business, my own journey, thinking about shredding all those documents and how good that felt, and then be here for you to show up. But you should be thinking about fourth quarter. Like, anyone you're identifying as a need right now to buy or sell probably is a paycheck in your fourth quarter. And I think that we're too short-sighted to think everything's now, 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 now. This is a long game, and we have to, if you look at your pipeline, you're like, "Oh, there's only 2 people at the top of the pipeline." Well, you gotta double down, triple down, quadruple down, because half of them aren't gonna get there. Half of them aren't gonna make it to the closing table this year. They're gonna say they want to, but they're not going to get there. It's gonna push into next year. So you need to be stacking your pipeline right now, especially in this conditions of market. I'm noticing across the board more people in a state of uncertainty, and that's reflective of our economics, that's reflective of our world issues, because that's what they're pumping in the news for us all day, every day, is we should feel uncertain, we should be scared. And so people are. They're scared about making big decisions, and so it's taking them longer to come to conclusions and to take action. But we can be a voice of reason. Like, you still have to live somewhere. You still have to pay somebody to live somewhere. So you might as well buy a house, or you might as well sell and go live closer to the grandkids now. Time is more precious than money for a lot of people. And so we just have to be there and help them. But you also have to go out there and talk to a lot more people than you're talking to. Okay, I'm going to recap for you in case you forgot or you joined this episode late. But today we're talking about 3 major mindset shifts that have helped me in my business. And I realized I wish I would have, got it earlier. But hey, you get it when you get it, and then you got it and you're good, right? Moving from transactional to relational. So hey, go out there and make more friends today, guys. Here's another action tip for you on this space, is to when you're out prospecting, think about instead of marketing for leads, marketing for loyalty. Like, how can I attract people who want to be in a community with me? rather than just marketing for leads. I'm not just looking for anyone who wants to buy or sell a house. That's a one-time transaction. But if you're marketing with the mindset of I'm looking for someone new for my community every time I'm at a buyer meeting, I'm sitting there like starry-eyed, like this person's going to be at all my parties. This person's going to be redeeming my Lolo gifts. You should look up Lolo gifts if you don't have it. This person's going to be, coming, I'm going to be handwriting a card to them on their birthday. Like I'm looking at the starry-eyed, like a future that we could have together if they choose me as their realtor. Like it's kind of crazy, but it really works. And it's been incredibly successful for me. Again, we're just on the recap. So from transactional to relational, from busy to intentional. Hey, if you look at your calendar and you haven't done anything that led you to prospecting, you were not intentional. You were just busy. You were just running around doing everything that looked good as something to do. But the proof is in the pudding, guys. The calendar reveals. I mean, this is true about all things. If you're not getting your workouts in, they probably weren't on the calendar. If you're not getting date night in, it probably wasn't on the calendar. That calendar is your vision board. It is the statement of what you want to do, who you want to be, how you want to show up. And if you haven't forecasted it out a little bit to carve time for that which you desire, that's on you. It's your calendar, right? It's not anyone else's calendar. You got to get intentional. This was the hardest thing for me to really come to grips with as a person who didn't super love to plan. I'll be honest with you, I never really super loved to plan. Now I'm obsessed with planning. I'm obsessed with claiming the time before it claims itself, claiming it for what it needs to be. And especially in business, I love holding space for that which will move the needle forward for me to keep me sustainable, keep me active, and keep me growing. But that is always on you to know what it is. And if you don't, get some help. Recap number 3, fear of rejection to fear of regret. Let's be brave today. Let's be bold. Let's just go do things that seem scary. Let's just call people that we haven't talked to forever and just show up in their world with energy and love and care and question and discovery and all the things. Let's make bold statements. Let's not let anything off the hook. Let's not let ourselves off the hook. Let's really show up and be. If you're going to regret anything in life, it's going to be what you didn't do. It's not going to be that you made a social media post and nobody liked it or 3 people liked it or whatever. You're never going to regret that. You're going to regret not doing the thing. So let's be bold today. And I'm going to close this up with this. Until next time, I want you to stay curious, be bold, stay inspired. So glad to have you here. Have a beautiful rest of your day.
If you'd like more information or to get connected to the Agent Power Huddle, join our free Facebook group. This call was designed for the agents in our EXP organization, but open to any agent from any brokerage. If you're a guest and you're interested in learning more about EXP or our specific resources within the Agent Collective, reach out to the person who invited you to this call to get more info. Produced by the Agent Collective Media Network.